PvT action on Shakura's Plateau, and hopefully no spikes will come and cause any external bleeding.
I can actually see the blood over there seeping in through that room.
It's lagging. He's like just shaking in his chair, but he's calmed down.
Kiwikaki's going to be the one to load here last. Jumping into game number 3. The first no 2-0 here. We do have Sixjax DDE spawning as the blue Terran. We have different positions than we did originally.
It's going to be a cross-map game.
Going to be spawning down here as the 5 o'clock position. As opponent will be the yellow player from Team Rain. It's going to be Kiwikaki, the crazy Canadian Protoss.
Now, what will Kiwikaki have in store for us? It's kind of funny to think that in his PvZs, it's creativity to the max, but in his PvTs, in his versus Terran matchup, he tends to play it very safe. Rarely does any of these kooky aggression plays, and I wonder why that is.
We'll have to ask him, Sean. We can't do that.
Because I like building Colossus, dude.
You already know his answer. That's what I mean. I can throw you any question. You'll be able to answer it, Sean.
We do see the good luck have fun from DDE as the probe makes its way through the middle of the map. Kiwikaki, good luck, have fun. One word.
Or one sentence, really.
One sentence, indeed. DDE looks like there are still some spikes going on. Let's see if we can try to repair that in a moment. It looks like there is the pause. Perhaps JP, one of our computers, is causing it. If you wanted to leave the game, just observe from my computer.
Yeah, we could try it. We could try it, indeed. I'm going to go ahead and take off now.
So we're going to go ahead and head out. Or JP's going to head out. It's going to be just my
I'll see you
computer.
guys later.
Wishing the good luck, have fun to the players. It's now just me. Now JP is going to have to be craning his head in to observe.
It's all right. Let's see if this is going to work, making sure the players understand what it is exactly that we're doing. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and restart this PC. So here we go. We're going to get the game started. Back once again as Sean does the countdown.
And there the game is back, and it looks like some of those spikes are still occurring. Again, it's up to the ref and the players as to what the decision needs to be, whether they want to continue or whether they want to try to figure out what the issue at hand is. But I can completely understand if these players wanted a delay of game due to these spikes.
So in the meantime, looks like I think the players are going to actually play this out. So we can go ahead and hop back into the game.
We see the assimilators going down for Kiwikaki. In the main of DDE, we see no gas has been taken at all. So that is always an indicator that there will be some kind of early expand incoming.
Yep, so there is the probe doing the old run around. That Marine won't be out just yet. So this probe will be still allowed in that base for a little bit of time. Kiwikaki's going to probably do what he's done the past 2 games, send it off to a little side area and then send it back in for a delayed scout. There's the cybernetics core going down. No Zealot coming out, which is pretty typical of Kiwikaki. Sixjax DDE is still not found his opponent as of yet, but he's got to think that there's nothing crazy going on at this point of the game.
You know, I will say, of all Protoss players, I think you can easily identify Kiwikaki just by his nutty building placement. I mean, rarely do you see these shapes of buildings at the back side. I don't think Hellions can actually squeeze through this crack in between these 2 buildings. So that does mean he has now defended against those Hellions, which did give him a little bit of an issue in the last game. DDE now taking his natural expansion off 1 barracks, building 1 refinery. Will he get a second one, or is he going to go straight into more barracks? DDE always does things a little bit off the usual path.
Looks like Kiwikaki's probe in the middle found some peyote and has just been running around the map without any direction as to what he's going to go. He's now bouncing back and forth between the 2 Zelnaga towers. He might go in for another scout here very, very soon. Zealot will be chasing away that SCV, and I believe a Stalker will join him right behind it. So he might be going ahead and putting some pressure on here. That bunker will, of course, allow DDE to safely take that expansion as soon as the Marines will be able to get inside of it.
Interestingly, DDE getting quite a fast tech lab off just 1 gas. He can get the Marauder and Concussive Shell started, but he won't likely have enough for Stim. He can completely cut Marauders and Concussive Shell and maybe get Stim a little faster, but it's going to be hard with just 1 gas.
There comes the Stalker jumping in. It did tank most of the damage there. Generally, the Zealot would be the one doing that. A Nexus going down for Kiwikaki at his natural. And what is that tech? Ooh, another gateway and a 3rd gateway, I do believe, for Kiwikaki there. So more of the same, except this is a little bit different because the robotic facility is not going down, and Kiwikaki reinforcing with a forward pylon. We might be seeing some sentries being added on here soon to deny the repair onto that bunker for a very early attack, or he might just add on some stalkers and zealots for maximum damage.
Kiwikaki now continuing to keep those stalkers at the front, denying any scout. What will he do with his tech, adding on perhaps more gateways? We often see players completely cut the Robotech and get massive numbers of gateways if they see that it's a Marine Marauder pressure, but man, it looks like Kiwikaki getting caught unusually off guard, loses one stalker immediately as DDE begins this fairly early push with 3 barracks.
That is one of the benefits to getting those concussive shells. Of course, those Marauders will slow and do pretty much whatever they want to any unit that they slow, ultimately killing them, especially those stalkers. 2 more sentries being warped in as well as the zealot as they roll reinforce here at the natural. We're about to have our first big battle between these 2 players in Game 3. Both players facing elimination here in the lower bracket. The winner will go on to face one of the losers from the winner's bracket.
DDE trying to kill off this pylon. This would help a ton if he could eliminate reinforcements up on the ramp, but as the probes are pulled, DDE realizing he's going to have to pull back. If he can get those Marauders in the front, he might be able to do some good damage. It's the Marines that deal the damage early on, the Marauders that take it.
A factory is, of course, being built right now. 3 racks currently, 2 with the tech labs, 1 with the reactor. Fully saturated, it looks like, at both the natural and the main. Kiwikaki is going to hold this. He was denied some mining from the natural for just a little while, but DDE has returned home, and we see a probe slipping in to the natural, it looks like, and it is taken out by the Marauders, but it did give them somewhat of a somewhat intelligent about what the army composition of DDE is going to be.
Starport now getting the reactor onto it, more barracks being added on for the Terran player, getting it ready to go into that macro mode. And this +1 armor upgrade, one of the key upgrades in the Zealot versus Marine mix. Marines do hardly any damage once those armor upgrades begin to get high. And look at this, Kiwikaki getting 4 gateways before his robo starts.
And now the upgrade for all of the bio units of DDE has started. STEM just now started the engineering bay coming down as well, so we will be seeing infantry upgrades starting here in just a couple seconds. Probably going to be seeing the combat shield not too soon, or not too far from being started here. Another factor, I believe, is that his second one, Sean, is?
Whoa!
Indeed.
Once again, we may see DDE do this very unusual Marine Marauder tank play. I do not mind that at all on this map. If you can siege tanks out in an arc at the front, it's nearly impossible for Protoss funneling down this ramp to do much damage.
We see 2 photon cannons being warped in. Those are, of course, to deny those Hellions as well as any drops from DDE. STEM very close to being finished now. A reactor being added on to, it looks like, another racks. We already have a reactor onto that starport. Is he going to be adding on anything to that factory? No, he's going to go ahead and get Blue Flame and immediately start producing two Hellions at a time out of those 2 factories.
Now this is an interesting situation that Kiwikaki is going to find himself in. He's going to be up against Blue Flame Hellions when much of Kiwikaki's focus has been Zealots. We even see that the Twilight Council is done getting the charge upgrade. We see the armor plopping out now. You almost assume that your opponent will be going Marine Marauder Medevac. Getting these Blue Flame Hellions is so uncommon. And look at this, even favoring handing over that reactor to a factory.
Now, as soon as that charge upgrade actually finishes, whoa, that's a weird expansion. Skipping the 3rd, going straight for the likely 4th expansion spot there on the right side of the map. That drop will be doing a lot of damage. It looks like he might try to bait with that lone Hellion. Or no, he's going to try to bait with this small little attack force in the front. This is something that DDE has done all series long, using something in the front to take away Kiwikaki's eyes from the back. And there is some more warp-ins that will actually be denied. Now, if he can get that 3rd base up, it will be somewhat of a surprise to Kiwikaki all the way up north at the 2 o'clock position. And we see charge very, very close to being finished. The Colossus are coming out on the field as well as the extended thermal lance. Pylon going to be taken down there. And there's a probe looking like it's going to return back. It should be cut off by those Terran forces.
We're seeing this explosive map control from DDE, and even though his build is very free-form, it doesn't have a lot of nice timings to it. Some of these factories aren't even getting the chance to produce all at once. DDE clearly understands strategically what it's causing the Protoss player to do. rather than spending that money on mules, or excuse me, spending that energy on mules, he's spending it on scans, finding out the positioning of his opponent, and getting up this very solid unit mix. It's a Viking Hellion with some Marine Marauder. And we also see the drops now trying to swing up to the top side, and Kiwikaki spots it immediately. Target fires it. We see the warp in right on the heels. That gets taken down, and ladies and gentlemen, this is how you deal with aggression well.
The drop will live to tell another tale. Armory going down, of course, for that +1 vehicle upgrades that we've seen DDE get all series long. Some Hellions being added on. The Viking count is quickly getting very, very high, and that, of course, is to deal with those Colossus there, as I believe only about 2 are out on the map. Blink now begun researching. He does have charge already, and that will stop any stutter stepping from the units of DDE. So we might be seeing our first big push out here from Kiwikaki as his Colossus count is getting...
Okay.
Looked like that might have been a miss click or something by Kiwikaki there, as it was just kind of stuck in the middle.
This is Kiwikaki's ladder experience coming into play. It is so easy to play against tip-top Terrans and never experience them trying to sneak and hide expansions. But if you play a lot on ladder, you get people who will be trying all sorts of wacky strats. It is the Wild West of gaming on there. And it very clearly helping Kiwikaki spot this unusual hidden expo in this tense tournament situation. 2 Stalkers and a Zealot making their way up north.
And one of the things, the reason why he's not sending his entire army there is because it will be cut off by DDE's forces from the natural. But 2 Stalkers can definitely still pick off a lot of units, including the mules. The SCVs will be able to get somewhat of a surround in it. But I didn't even see that Zealot. That will do a lot of damage. Here come the Blue Flame Hellions. They're going to try to clean that up. The forces of Kiwikaki are sitting right outside of the natural. The Vikings getting a couple of volleys onto those Colossus, and now the Hellions are sneaking by. Taking a couple shots there as the Zealots are still charging all the way from the natural. They will escape that army. Stalkers being warped in at Kiwikaki's natural. They will deny those Hellions, and now DDE has bought himself some time as 2 more Vikings, a handful of Marauders, Marines, and Hellions are still going to be popping out.
If he gets a big shot, maybe this attack could be worth it, but he hasn't quite killed off what he needs. Oh no, they're clustered. Oh my god, 10 kills, 12 kills. We see that still not that much damage done by DDE there. Kiwikaki looking very comfortable. The Viking count, it's quite high, but look at the ground unit count. Only 11 Marauders, 20 Marines up against a gigantic ground force.
That might honestly be too many Vikings there from DDE. There's only 3 Colossus out. Look at the Stalker and also the Zealot count. With the charge, the Zealots will be able to get out in front. With those Stalkers, they can, of course, blink just like that. Colossus there are really just to soak up the damage from the Vikings, and there are the Zealots just going to town onto the Marauder Marine File Force. Kiwikaki just with a huge force, 150 supply to 116. This is not looking good for Sixjax DDE, who is facing elimination here in the lower bracket. And a huge blink.
DDE has been doing attack after attack after attack all game long, and we see Kiwikaki defending, and in his first major push may be able to break the front lines. Kiwikaki showing how you handle that sort of aggression by taking minimal losses throughout, and there's the good game. Kiwikaki narrowly ends up with the win in that game.
And there we see Kiwikaki is very excited about that win because, of course, his tournament life is still actual life here in this tournament. So we are going to be seeing him move on to play the loser of Huck versus Select. Our first 2-1 here in the North American BattleNet StarCraft 2 Invitational. He's going to go ahead and stand up.
I'm going to shake the hand of DDE, who played an amazing series against both Idra and Kiwikaki. Really going to show why he's one of those regulars in the top 10 list of the Grandmaster rankings. For now, though, there are 2 more major matches for the day. The winner's bracket semifinals. It's Huck versus Select and Chef versus Idra, or more commonly known as
Good versus Evil.
Good versus Evil. Let's take a look at the brackets to see where we're sitting right now. Huck and Select are going to play. The person who loses that match is going to step down and be up against, I believe, it will be up against Rain Kiwikaki.
Yeah.
And the loser of Chef Idra will drop down to play against Fnatic TT1. Indeed. Those matches will likely be happening tomorrow. But Huck and Select, really epic match coming up because they faced off in, I think, almost every single MLG ever.
Yeah, I mean, Sheth versus Idra is also going to be incredible because those two have one